day and told me she wanted a divorce. Um, Basically, what it was is, she also was a Gyaris and so forth. Her father was Jewish, though her mother was not. And she also had converted at a very young age. She got involved through NCSY. It's a youth organization in America. Yeah. And then she had gone to Neve and all that. But in any case, basically what it boiled down to is that she simply was not really happy, being so religious and all that. And, she wanted to leave, she wanted basically to leave me, leave Orthodox Judaism, and so on. So, it was, it was very upsetting for me, actually. But that's the way it was. So we divorced.
Hang on a second. Did you think you had a good marriage at that point? Did you have any clue that this was coming down the pike?
I believe that the last year we were married, she began working very late, and with her pattern making job, and she started smoking, which she had done as a teenager, but she had quit when she became really Orthodox and so on. But then she started doing that again, and I was concerned about this, but I didn't realize how much her feelings had changed. Basically, yeah. Until then, we were very compatible. We almost never fought, and we had really a good marriage. I think that we're very happy together. The fact that we had no children was, of course, bothered us. And it was you could say my fault. Even though no one, there is no known reason what caused my condition. Many men have a low sperm count without any history of any sort of, infections or whatever. I'm saying it's pretty. I think it pretty much is still a mystery why some people have that problem. But anyway, that's the way it was, though. So perhaps that made the marriage a little bit stressful. She wanted. We both wanted children. We didn't know if we ever would have, though, together. But yeah, that was the thing. I think that basically working in a secular environment, had an influence. As we know, people come and go. You know what I'm saying? As you can see on the internet, you know what I'm saying, and so on. There are people who go both ways. You know what I'm saying, and that was that was her decision, really, that time in her life that she wanted out. She wanted to leave. So it was pretty simple. We didn't have a house, we didn't have kids, there was no custody thing, or what have you, and so we divorced. Actually, lately in the last couple of years, I managed to. I don't know how I did it, but I started looking her up on the internet. You know what I'm saying? And I spoke to her on the phone about how long ago? About a year and a half ago, I guess. She has 3 children, 2 boys. Let me see. It's 2 girls and a boy, which is coincidentally the same that I have. I also have 2 girls and a boy. My children are younger than hers are, though. She remarried, but she divorced again about a year ago. And now she's a Wiccan. You've heard of
wow.
Wiccan? Yeah, she's a Wiccan. Yeah, as a matter of fact, and she's been doing very, very badly financially, from what she tells me. Her previous husband, she married a man who was Greek, not Jewish, a bit older than her, and he apparently did not work for some reason. I'm not sure. I'm not sure what the story was exactly. Pretty much her father has been supporting her more or less for a number of years. I don't know. I mean, I think she hopes to, find some kind of job as a personal trainer or something now, or, or maybe go back to pattern making. I mean, I spoke to her once on the phone for like about an hour, so it was interesting. I think we exchanged a few emails too, but but anyway, so that's where she lives in Florida right now. As far as I know, that's where she was. That's where she was a year ago. But anyway, so her life took a very different turn, and then as for me, so I was single for 3 years, and then I got remarried to a Baal Tshuva from Russia, and I continued working in computer programming and all that. And what happened is that amazingly, shortly after the time of my divorce, doctors began finding a solution for my problem about having children. There's a procedure called in vitro fertilization, IVF,
Yeah, yeah.
And what they have done is they've been able to figure out a way to use like even just like a small number of sperm to to fertilize the egg in vitro in the laboratory, and then to use that to cause a pregnancy. So so thank God. I mean, it's just like amazing. I mean, until that time, I think it was a doctor in Belgium about 1991 who first began doing this procedure. It's actually called something. It's something called ICSI. Really, it's like IC. Let me see, ICSI. It's initials for something, and that is this procedure where you can manipulate, individual sperm, from a man who has a very poor sample, and have children and so on. So that's the thing. So it's ended up that I've with my new wife, I've gone on to be able to become a father and so on, and whatever. So I'm still. I mean, I still live close to Muncie. I live in a neighborhood called Wesley Hills. You see, I mentioned on my blog, and which is actually it's about 3 or 4 miles from the house where I grew up in. It's the house where I live now, and coincidentally, and so that's the thing. So so basically, I began blogging. Like about what was it? Like about 4.5 years ago, and started doing that also. And I've always been interested in writing. I've often thought about writing a book or something or what have you, but I never got around to finding time to write a whole full-scale book. So when I first heard about blogging, I guess about 5 years ago, and I saw people doing that, I decided I would give it a try also. So that's been kind of my hobby part-time. When I have the chance, and I enjoy writing, and I really enjoy the feedback that I get, also, saying, if you publish a book, you don't necessarily hear what your readers are, thinking about it right away.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe you see some reviews or something in a newspaper, but with a blog, almost sometimes within minutes, I'm getting responses, from readers, and, as you might have noticed on my blog, I mean, I get quite a wide range, some were more positive, some were very critical, and so forth. And I mean, I think I've learned a lot from that. Getting instead of just kind of having all these ideas about Judaism, just sort of swimming around in my own mind, and so on. Now I'm able to get it out there, and it's interesting to hear what people think and how other people look at it, and how something that may be so obvious to me, might not make any sense to someone else. And I think that it's kind of really helped me